Hey guys, this is Sid here with svtperformance.com, and this time I have something a little unique for us to take a look at. Ford sent us this 2019 Transit Connect cargo van, and I have to admit I don't have a whole lot of experience with cargo vans, but this thing does have a lot of unique work features I'd like to show you. So let me get you off the tripod and we'll take a walk around and I can show you some of the cool things they've added to this for 2019. Okay, I got you guys off the tripod, so let's go take a little walk around. First, let me just go ahead and apologize for the wind noise. It is spring in South Carolina, and we're going to have 25 knot gusts all day, so it's going to be a little bit breezy during this walk around. But like I said, we've got a panel van, and I am not used to a panel van at all. So one of the things that definitely takes getting used to when you drive these things is you can't see over your shoulders out because it's all solid. I mean, if you drive this thing on a daily basis, I guess it's not an issue. You just get used to using your mirrors like you would if you were towing a trailer. But when you're not expecting it and you just hop in this thing, like backing out of the driveway or something like that, takes a little bit more attention. Excuse me. Speaking of backing out of the driveway, though, it does have a really nice backup camera system. It's right here above the license plate, and that thing works really well. So it's a cargo van, and if we open it up, you're going to see there is nothing in this thing but a load floor. So I would imagine most of the customers for this thing is going to be like probably not plumbers, because plumbers are going to want the full-size Transit, but like flower delivery. I see a lot of beer distributors, things like that, using these liquor distributors. A lot of just little delivery runaround vehicles. You'll see them a lot of times dressed up with livery on the side and parked out in front of businesses where they have sign regulations. Maybe you can't have a big sign out by the road, so a lot of people will put all their business info on the side of one of these things and park it out by the road. I've seen that a lot here in South Carolina. But let's get into some of the worky type features of this thing. One that I really like, we've got plenty of tie downs in the floor. That's going to be super handy. One thing that I'm not super crazy about, and I can't really blame this on Ford. It could be the guys who prepped this for me, they're great. They give me super clean vehicles to review for you guys. But this vinyl flooring, I think they sprayed like Armor All on it or something. This is so slick, it's ridiculous. I had a few things in here just loading it out and driving around a little bit, and stuff was just sliding around all over the place. I should have used the tie downs that Ford's nice enough to give us. Another thing we have, this little LED light. This camera does not show how bright this thing is. It is super bright, and at night it lights up this entire cargo area. But that little light is a $75 option. And speaking of options and things, this little van comes in at $32,000, which is, I think, a little bit expensive. But for, you know, a vehicle that you're going to use to work with and everything, that's not bad. It's because the way this thing's going to be used, it's going to make you money. So not too bad. Plus, nobody pays sticker for something like this. I like this little storage shelf here, so you can put things above your seating position. There's a ton of room in this. And one of the reasons I think these things are getting so popular is this thing drives really well. It reminds me a lot of a Focus. Drives a lot like a Focus. We've got power points all over the place. Pop this passenger's door here, power point here, USB charging. And then another really neat feature that I hadn't seen on one of these before is the induction charging or inductive charging for your cell phone. So if your cell phone or electronic devices have the feature where they can be charged wirelessly, just slide it into this little pocket here, charge your phone. This has the newer style of screen that Ford's putting in their cars. It looks like a little iPad, but it is not detachable. The seats are nice. It's a nice rugged fabric. I think that'll hold up pretty well. But one of my favorite features of this, and I look at it as sort of a productivity feature, is we can grab on here to the passenger seat. It folds forward, and then it has this little plastic tray here. So now you have sort of a little work desk you can use from the driver's seat, you know, put your laptop, things like that. I think that is a fantastic feature, and you can tell that's been added by somebody who realizes that this vehicle is going to be used for work. So that's a really nice feature. You can see the driver's seat is just cloth back. It doesn't have this plastic back on it, so I guess they're not expecting the passenger to fold down the driver's seat. That makes sense. Going to the back of the vehicle. Close this door here. We go around to the back side. This particular one has the split doors. I know on the passenger side, our passenger version of these, you can get a lift gate that comes up, but this has the split doors, and if you hit this little yellow button here, then the door can come on out. They'll both do that, and they'll open yay wide. So that could be handy for getting larger items in. Now, the reason it only opens this wide and not all the way around like the full-size Transit does, full-size Transit, this door will come all the way over to the side, is if you look, we have to have room to open the side door as well. So that door wouldn't be able to come all the way back with the side door open. This is the long wheelbase model though. These come in a little bit shorter wheelbase, so this door would be shorter on the short wheelbase. I definitely like the long wheelbase better. I think if you're going to buy one, just go ahead and buy the long wheelbase. But there's a ton of other options you can get for these things. Ford really does a good job of allowing you to build vehicles like this out to make it suitable for however you want to use it for work. Personally, if I was going to buy one, I think I would get the passenger version and then just take the seats out of it, because I would rather have a carpeted back and then the finished sidewalls plus glass in it instead of just the metal interior. That being said, it's not super echoey inside. It's pretty nice, actually, not that loud driving down the road. Power-wise, you're looking at a 2-liter 4-cylinder with about 162 horsepower. It's nothing that's going to light the world on fire, but it does have the 8-speed automatic transmission. And let me pop the hood for you. Has the Ford's new 8-speed automatic. It's a front-wheel drive, so you're not going to get like a 10R80 in it. Let's pop this up here. But your standard run-of-the-mill 2-liter, it's direct injection. You got the little direct injection pump there. 162 horsepower. Just driving around town, I've been seeing about 27 miles per gallon out of it, which is actually better than what it's rated. It's surprising the kind of mileage I've been seeing out of it. I haven't got to drive it nearly as much as I would like. I'm hoping to actually get this back in the future and do some other unique tests. I'd kind of like to have an engine I'd like to put in the back of this thing and deliver it to someone. I think that would be a nice setup, especially with those tie downs and everything. But let's take another look at some of the interior features here. And this is something, if you saw my review of the Raptor, that I really like. Ford is putting in these molded floor mats now, and these are really nice. They would remind you of, say, like a WeatherTech floor mat or something like that, but these are way better than just the standard drop-in. It's molded all around the edges and everything, and holds the dirt and grime in a lot better. This particular van, we have the vinyl flooring, which again, I think if you're going to work it, it's good to have. We have the shift it yourself automatic. I never really use that. I don't think it is that great. Shifts are slow, things like that. But it's nice to have if you're towing. This one is not set up with a tow package, but if you were towing, it'd be nice to pick your own gears going up hills, things like that. We have Sync 3, as you'd expect, with satellite radio, all that fun stuff. I like that deep pocket in the dash over here on the passenger side, just to put phones, wallets, things like that, keep them from flying back. And you've got a nice dash. It's not like super hard plastic, but it's not like a soft touch plastic. This, again, you got to think of this as sort of a productivity vehicle. It's a work vehicle, so your plastics and things like that are going to be a little bit more rugged than your regular passenger cars. But one of the things that I definitely like about driving it is the ergonomics, where my elbow sits on the console. I can rest my hand comfortably on the shifter, and it's just a comfortable driving position. I really like that. Let's go back over to the passenger side here. Actually, I'll show you on the driver's side, because I've got some junk cameras and things like that crammed down it. You've got huge storage pockets here, so I can keep reaching down and get more stuff out. that also act as drink holders, so that's handy. You've got, of course, more cup holders in the center, things like that. And the suspension and driving, it's sort of interesting. So it's got a solid rear axle, of course your independent front suspension that you would expect. It drives like a combination between a Focus and a Fiesta, because your Fiesta, you've got the solid rear suspension. Focus, you would have independent rear suspension. But it drives like a combination of the two. It's very, very car-like. And I like having the longer nose on the transit style vans. I don't feel like my legs are the crumple zone like you do with a lot of other vans. But one of the things I noticed that I thought was really weird on this, and I'm guessing it's why it gets good mileage, is if you look down here, this thing is super, super low to the ground. I mean, basically 4 fingers right there. And you got this little rubber lip coming down here. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons why this thing gets such good mileage, is this lower valence. But it is actually lower to the ground than our Fiesta ST that we have as a project car. Thought that was kind of surprising. So, like I mentioned, if I were to buy one of these things, and I've actually kicked this idea around before. I like vans because you can haul a bunch of junk in it. You can stack a lot of people in there, go for a trip, they're comfortable. And these smaller ones like this get really good mileage. Like I said, we're seeing around 27 miles per gallon. But if I was to get one, I would get the passenger version to get the glass in the side. And I will show you a feature to come. These are actually made in Valencia, Spain. And later this year, if you know what you're looking for, looks like there's room for an extra cap here. That's where the depth fill will go when we get the 1.5 liter diesel option in this. And I have requested one of those from Ford. I will definitely want to test that out. I expect if this thing's getting close to 30 miles to the gallon, a 1.5 liter diesel version will probably be close to 40 miles per gallon on the highway, which would be super, super nice for somebody doing a lot of mileage. That would be really nice. As far as creature comforts, it's what you'd expect. This is an XLT model, so you've got your AC, cruise control, navigation, satellite radio. But I really like on the XLTs, we're getting the good headlights now. We got the HID headlights with, you know, LED fog lights, things like that. We're getting those better features trickled down to the XLTs now, instead of just the higher end models. It used to be you could only get those on titanium. And I know Tobe will be happy. Yes, you get a tow hook in the front, so it'll match the new GT500. You can get matching tow hooks for that in your tiny little van. But I really like this vehicle. It's not exactly suiting my needs because I don't need a cargo van, but if you were in the market for one, definitely check this out. I have a friend who has the full-size Connect, and he uses it to haul dogs around everywhere. He has a dog training facility where he trains police canines, things like that. And he can stack like 9 German Shepherds in his high roof version of this thing in kennels. But it's a neat little van, neat little vehicle to drive around, do some work in. I'm sure somewhere out there somebody has taken one of these and turned it into like a stealth camper, which would probably be actually a pretty good use for one of these, especially if you've got a little bit of insulation inside and everything. But I do like that it's not all tinny riding down the road, if you guys know what I'm talking about. It used to be like old cargo vans. It was super noisy. You could just get tons and tons of road noise, but it's not bad. And honestly, you could probably quieten it down even more by just like on one of these flat panels here or on the roof, just put a few little patches of Dynamat in a few places. People think you have to like slather flat metal with that stuff, but you really don't. Just a few strips here and there will quieten things down quite a bit. But that's basically it, guys. This is a neat little van. Like I said, a lot of good productivity features with these tow hooks, things like that, power points. You can actually get some work done in this thing. So yeah, I would suggest it. It's a fun little vehicle. If you're in the market for one, stop by your Ford dealership and check one of these things out. I think you'll be surprised by how nice they are. Get a lot of features for your money. Not a bad little vehicle. So that's basically it. If you want to, head over to svtperformance.com. We have a bunch of pictures and a little bit more details on this, especially on the suspension. We'll put it up on some ramps, try to get some pictures of it from underneath. But yeah, the link is in the description below, so head over there and check it out. Until next time, please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it if you do that. And this is Sid signing out. Thanks.